Yeah, just let me talk to them, cause they don't hear me yet. You gonna learn today. No matter what I say, you'll find a way to hate. You make excuses for the reasons why you can't relate to these lyrical miracles, cause you lacking faith in this God rap that I demonstrate straight from the tape. Yeah. Because I take these thoughts formless and then create through that dark place in the void, they call it headspace. All of the fake straight encourage you to imitate the ways to elevate, they call it woke but they not awake.
Yeah, what's good my people? Wings up. How we feeling out there today? We alright? Word. Welcome back to Reality Rap, where we bring you that insight to elevate your life. No matter the weather, we focus on being better. Feel me? Along with that dope original lyrical content. Yeah. It's nice out here today. Mad nice. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like my lady friend. Oh, I kept it 100 in episode 5, but best believe Legend got great taste. You feel me? Yeah. So today, I want to build with y'all, talk to y'all about conspiracies, theories, conspiracy theories, religions, God, dogma, the programming, all that, right? Because we need to get past certain aspects of this thinking in order for us to really learn something. You know what I mean? We go to a certain point and we get scared, and then we just go right back to dogma, which ain't helping. So those of us that are actually trying to learn, that actually want to learn, come take this walk with me. Everybody else, y'all know where to go. I ain't trying to be mean, I'm just saying. You don't want to hear it. I already know. So, but everybody else, come take this walk with me. Do something a little different today. Yeah. Won't hold you for too long. Feel me? These types of conversations get deep. Levels deep. I don't want to overwhelm y'all with too much, too fast. You feel me? So we're gonna take it slow, one day at a time, because that's all we can do out here. So what up with it? Let's explain conspiracy. I don't think I feel like I shouldn't have to, but you know, I'm going to, just to make sure we're all on the same page for the sake of us building. Feel me? My bad ahead of time for any messed up camera work. First time doing this kind of thing. We're gonna keep it going, you know. Videos are gonna get better. Just keep following me on my journey. So conspiracy, right? The definition of a conspiracy, obviously, is a plot or a plan by a group or a person, mainly a group, but it could be a person, right? To achieve a certain outcome by manipulating events to benefit them. Usually it's with malicious intent. Usually people get hurt or something like that. You know what I'm saying? In the case of these, because of who be involved, right? We'll get there. And on an everyday level, freaking, we all conspire every day. When we come outside to get money, we conspire on ways on how we're gonna get that money. You know what I'm saying? We conspire on our checks when we get those checks to what we're gonna do with it, right? Those are all premeditated plans. And by the way, that's why it's called premeditated, because when you're daydreaming, that's a form of meditation. They don't want to tell you that, but I am, right? So you got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? The main thing though is to stay aware. You can't let just the everyday process of life keep you too tired to really be aware of this stuff. I know it's a lot, you know what I mean? But you got to be mentally and spiritually strong for this kind of thing. That's why there's chosen ones. You know, many are called, few are chosen. Not everybody is mentally built to enter and understand concepts, aspects, and perspectives of these kind of topics. You know what I'm saying? The nuances and the layers and everything, it's deep. It goes deep. Got to be ready, right? Chipmunks and rabbits over here, you know, be what it is in nature. But all right, so we got that out the way, right? We know what a conspiracy is, you know what I'm saying? When men or women, whatever, plot on their partner, you know what I'm saying, to cheat on them or whatever, that's a conspiracy. They're trying to do that and not get caught, right? So they be thinking of ways to go about how they're gonna do that and not get caught. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's any ivy over here, so we're gonna about face real quick and reverse it. I don't see any, but still, just to keep it safe. You know what I mean? I got sensitive enough skin, I'm always breaking out. I don't need that. I digress. So we know a theory, right, is an educated guess based on plausible evidence. We can't prove it, it's not definitive, but that's what we go with because it's self-evident. And that's another thing we got to be careful about, self-evidence. Your senses tell you one thing, never a straight answer. Excuse me. NASA tells you another thing, right? And you have to think about those at the tippity top of the pyramid who run this whole thing, right? Who keep things the way that they want it, so they don't have to get their hands dirty as far as labor. I mean, look at it from both sides. It's why I use purple as a color. One, because I'm a Leo, it's a royal color, right? Shout out to all the Leos out there. But two, because it's the color between red and blue, and that's the balance of, you know what I'm saying, light and the dark. So yeah, but a theory, right? You can't prove it. You can only, you know what I'm saying, based on plausible evidence and self-evidence, go with what seems to be the case, right? And that goes with anything, but other things are more important than others. That's why, again, a conspiracy for us to, the way we get up every day and conspire to go make money, that's not important to like the bigger scheme of things, you know what I'm saying? The conspiracies that come from the feds and them people like that try to do things to make things the way that they want it, to trick us into accepting stuff, that affects all of us. That's why it's such a bigger deal when evidence of the contrary comes out or is being pointed out. But yet everybody doesn't want to see it because, you know, let's keep it 100. Realizing that means you got to G-check yourself, and you got to realize that there's a lot of stuff you was fooled by, a lot of stuff you was tricked by, a lot of stuff you watch and listen to that's trash, that's part of that trash, you know what I'm saying, that comes from that system. And you might have to stop watching or listening to it in that way. Now, when you are sovereign and you're thinking and you know yourself, you know what I'm saying, and you're just keeping it 100, you know what you're watching, you know what you're listening to, doesn't mean you can't have fun, doesn't mean you can't still enjoy those programs for what they're worth. Just know what you're looking at, just know what you're listening to. That's all I'm saying, because that's what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? We just taking in whatever we seeing, we accepting it as whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like when homegirl Megan came out for, you know, Bandora. Look up who Bandora is. Why would she pick her to come out as during a political thing? And she thoughtified it. Like, come on, man. That's the best of us. That's who she chose. Like, you see how they put that out there, and then they got us subconsciously thinking, oh yeah, that's what's right. That's what's real. That's what it. Nah, that's not what it is. That's promoting self-destruction on yourself, disrespecting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Especially women. You don't want that. I definitely don't want no woman that disrespects herself. That's for sure. It's nice right there. Enjoying the weather. Feel me? We can't fully prove it, but we just go with it for the sake of the fact that they got us out here chasing money and we got to pay these bills and such, right? So we don't have the time to really care for that kind of stuff. And that's how they make it. You know what I'm saying? Especially us in the hood. You You know what I'm saying? All we're thinking about is how we getting money and how we're able to self-indulge in whatever it is that gives us that edge release at the end of the day and night, from having to go trade our time for money all day, putting up with people we may not want to be around or may not want to work with. You feel me? I get it. But even through all that, we got to try to stay grounded in ourselves and make sure we know what we're doing, we know what we're watching, we know who we're chilling with. You know what I'm saying? We can't be fooled by people's energy. Some energy can come in disguised as one thing and then it'll be something else. You understand? So we got to make sure we ain't doing none of that, letting the wrong people in our life and stuff. You feel me? That's bad news. I'm saying that whole thing with still earth, right? I find it to be more plausible. The reason why I believe in that more than the globe is because I already know everything about the globe. We was taught that growing up, right? But then when they started bringing up the points about still earth, I was like, you know what? Why, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why didn't I think about that, even though I clearly see that every single day and night? So it's just one of those things you got to come to, you know what I'm saying, on your journey, when you realize you're being messed with. And nobody likes being lied to or manipulated or messed with, right? Like that still earth, like I was saying, you know what I mean? People be like on some stupid shit and be like, oh, well, if that was the case, if the earth was flat, then we could see all the way across the... Listen, are you superhuman all of a sudden? You could see superhuman distances. The eye can only see so far. You feel me? So stop with all that. I hate when people, especially people that are just so... See, here's the thing that really grinds my gears about dogma dummies especially. They act like they've seen everything and experienced everything firsthand for themselves, for them to be able to defend it like that. It doesn't make any sense to me how they could sit there and have such conviction about stuff. You ain't never seen none of that. You're just too afraid to realize that all that stuff you believed in is wrong. That's something you have to deal with internally with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Now, here the thing is, if those of us who are on the other side are wrong, oh well, we already know the other stuff. We were wrong, even though we don't think we are. It's not exact the way that they pick this, and that's another thing. When they put out the psyops, when they put out the cartoons, when they put out the nonsense, there's nothing that says those of us, for example, that subscribe to Still Earth, subscribe to them fucking stupid ass cartoons and the stupid ass explanations they be putting out. You feel me? We don't agree to that. They're putting that out so the rest of y'all can be like, haha, that's stupid, and never look at it and never think of it again, because they treat you like children, like you're that simple minded. You know what I'm saying? And all they got to do is just come out with some wackadoo explanation and you'll just take it in. How does that make you feel, knowing that your government feels like or treats you or knows in their mind that you're that easy to manipulate? Does it make you feel good knowing that they just continuously lie to you? We all know about the and we all seen people who got the and what happened to them live on TV, and yet people still vouch for it. We're not saying all of them are bad, but that one is. That's the point. That's why I hate dogma dummies, because they take the point and they mix it up and mix it in an overall point that we're not even making, we're not even arguing against. We're not saying they're all bad. We're saying that one was. Get it through your head. You know what I'm saying? Stop arguing with us when we're making a point that you just don't want to hear. You feel me? And that's not to all of y'all listening. That's for those who are incisive about thinking that they know the truth because they're regurgitating what they was told, as if they experienced it themselves. I can never, ever, 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 ever respect that. None on any level, in any way, shape, form, fashion, style, time, or dimension. Never. You can't think for yourself. I can't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? They want it like Wally. Y'all seen Wally, right? Y'all know that scene where they're all riding in them automatic AI scooters, all fat, slurping down you know what Slurpees? Yeah. Just stupid. IQ like a bag of rocks. That's how they want it. So we got to be vigilant at making sure they don't allow us to get like that. You know what I'm saying? We can't be degrading ourselves. Women, you can't be degrading yourselves. Men, stop acting like you need to touch everything. That's that fallen angel energy. That's how you know we come from that, right? I believe the Ajiji, which is what the G in the middle of the Freemason symbol actually stands for, the Ajiji, the egregores, those thought forms, you know what I'm saying? And all those beings we come from, all this nigger mentality and hood mentality, I think it comes from them. Because if you know the story, they were the ones that were like, you know, F that. We're tired of this. We ain't doing this no more. We don't want to work. And that's when they created humans. And then the first humans were sovereign, and they was like, it was like, F that. We ain't doing this. We don't want to work. And the woman was like, I'm not bowing to man. I'm equal to him. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't having that, so they dipped off, which is why the second creation took place. That's another story, another video. But the point is, you know what I'm saying, knowing that gives you a different perspective on creation by that alone. You feel me? So that'll help you understand things from a different standpoint instead of just understanding it from the Disney Sesame Street story that they've been telling us. I ain't never to this day seen a person put a stick in the water and make it split in half. Have you? Have you? If it wasn't David Blaine or Chris Angel or one of them, you know what I'm saying? And even then, they have their ways of doing that, right? I ain't never seen nobody take 5 loaves of bread and 5 fishes and feed 5,000 people. Maybe if you break and piecing it off into tiny pieces, maybe, I don't know. I've never tried it. You want to get technical with stuff, then yeah, there's a lot of ways that things can be done, but the way that they over embellish it and make it sound, you know what I'm saying? We, in the back of our minds, already accept it as what we would think it would be normally. But these things aren't that. And that's something that we have to understand. And I say understand, one, because it's something I learned. Shout out to Savon Beaumont. 2, because it's the same it's the same thing as me saying, you feel me? Because when you understand something, you feel it from within. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's truth. Like, I feel that. You understand? You understand is what I should ask. You feel me? But that's what it be, though. That's what it be. And we just have to be, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard. We grew up liking the stuff we like. I don't want to stop watching this. I don't want to stop liking Drake. Well, guess what? He don't write his own lyrics. And none of his stuff is really has substance in it. You know what I'm saying? You seen what happened to him after he got embarrassed and called out. He thought he wasn't gonna get embarrassed and called out because he was stuck in his own ass, thinking nobody was, you know, thinking that his people above him was gonna be able to just rub their magic hands and make anything go away. But nah, this is real hip hop, and that's how you know he's fake, because he's on that commercial Showtime showboating. You know what I'm saying? I'm the star. You know them shows or them movies or whatever where they got that person who's the main star, but he don't really got no talent or nothing. They just make it look like he does with all the promos and everything. And then, you know, at the end of the show or the movie, everybody finds out he's a phony and things like that, or at least like somebody close to him finds out, and then they talk him into like trying it for real, and he ends up being himself, and then it ends up working anyway or something like that, right? Something corny like that, but it be like that. Yeah, that's Drake. That's basically Drake. Because not for nothing, when he first came out, and even in that, he stole from JoJo. Shout out to JoJo. I haven't heard from her or seen her. You know, she's old school with it, but shout out to JoJo. He stole that Marvin's Room whole thing from her, right? But even then, when he was doing that, I was like, all right, like I see I see his angles, cool, feeling that, whatever. I could use that for the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Them rhythms and them songs and them melodies make you feel all fuzzy in your tummy, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be all that auto-tune and all that other stuff, and it makes you ladies start to feel all fuzzy in your tummies. And then, you know what I mean, here comes the flirting and all that, you know what I'm saying? After he started doing all that, when Forever came out, and then he started talking about he came up from nothing, nobody ever, I never give nothing to me, like what he say? Nobody ever gave nothing to me, whatever the fuck he said in that shit. Like, stop it, bro. What are you talking about? You came from Nickelodeon. What do you mean nobody never gave you nothing? You was primed and bred to be in the spot you're in, and they had Kanye, Wayne, and M, you know, make you look good. But instead, they demolished you on the verse, on the song, especially M. He just put lava on everybody, and that was just the end of that. But, you know what I mean? I haven't listened to Wayne's new album yet. Those of you that know me know how I feel about him as far as a lyricist. As far as a person, I never met him, I don't know him. I respect his G, you know what I'm saying? But as far as a lyricist, when they found out Gilly and all of that was writing his stuff at the time or whatever, and then he tried to be like, I don't write because I don't got time. It was just like, nah, bro, what are you talking about? And then all of that, actually, you know what? All of that mumble rap and stuff started with him, now that I think about it, because he started that whole I can't feel my face shit with Jewels at the time. And basically he was on that lean because he got exposed about not writing his own shit. So I guess that's how he was handling that. And you know what I'm saying, it all makes sense lining up with the events that took place. He started getting on lean and he started talking about can't feel in his face and all this other shit. And then that's when all that mumble rap started. And that's when, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean, it is what it is. But I think we can thank Lil Wayne. Not to say that he's responsible for the actions of other people. No, sir. But as far as that trend setting and then putting that in the mindset, yeah, I think we could blame him for that one. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it. But no shade to Lil Wayne. Shout out to Lil Wayne. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to his album. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna see what's good with that. I'm sure it's better than Drake's. That's for sure. One thing I can definitely say, you know what I'm saying? Wayne is way more realer, way realer than Drake will ever be in any lifetime. So, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to hearing what Wayne said, because I was on the Carter 2, man. I was on that. And then when I found out the whole situation, what they was talking about in the media anyways, I'm not going to say I found out as if I had inside information, but, you know what I'm saying? When that came out, it was like, damn. I was disappointed, like and the way that I am, it's like I cancel, I cancel that random, because it's like, yo, I put up with a lot, and then when it comes to that point where I feel like, you know what I'm saying, betrayed, I gotta step away, and I felt betrayed by that, because it's like I really liked his music, you know what I'm saying, and then to find out he wasn't writing it, it's like, damn, bro, so what? Like, are you actually nice? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your whole style if that's the case? Because I can't tell now, you know what I mean? Like, I can't take none of that stuff before serious, because you was like wasted. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what he did on this album, seeing what's good with that actually, and then maybe we'll review that. I did say this was a hip-hop channel. I'm giving a lot of insight to elevate your life, you know what I'm saying? No matter the weather, we focus on being better. But yeah, I might go ahead and just review that album. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't. I don't, you know what I'm saying, have the setup to do the whole screen sharing thing. I know I can do it over my phone, so maybe we'll just do that. But I'll just review it, I'll listen to it, and I'll come back and give my thoughts on it, my $2, you know what I'm saying? And we'll just go from there. But I already know, I'll already give him that much credit, that it's better than that megabyte, whatever, 100 megabyte crap Drake tried to drop in return in response to Kendrick mutilating him. It was just, no, bro. Just take the L, take a few steps back, you know what I mean? And just stop trying to be that and be who you are. Because if he would have stuck with that singing, I think he would have been a lot better off right now. You feel me? Like, he wouldn't have had to go through all of this stuff. He would have just had features, you know what I'm saying? Chris Brown did it right. Chris Brown did it right. Shout out to Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Another real one right there. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? And we just got to be careful with the whole God thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, a lot of content creators I respect on YouTube. But they be, you know what I'm saying, still using them dogmatic buzzwords that puts people right back in that original dogmatic mind that you're trying to teach them out of. That don't make no sense, yo. It don't. Can't be doing that. Oh man, what time is it? 4:35? You already know. It be lit over here at the evening hours, you know what I'm saying? It be lit over here. So we just gotta be careful, you know what I mean? When we thinking about terms and buzzwords, like, for example, we all know by now, we should all know by now, his name was not no Jesus. Now, I know that's gonna upset people, but guess what? It's not Yahshua either, because that's Joshua. See, one thing we gotta stop doing is the first new word we hear is jumping on it. And then acting like we know for sure that's what it is and repping it. You know what I'm saying? We got all these different things. I heard Yahshua, Yahshua Hai, Yahshua Shai, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahaya. Like, what? Listen, people. If anything, it's the sound of the breath we make when we breathe. We can't pronounce that. That's why it's an onomatopoeia. You know what an onomatopoeia is? An onomatopoeia is a made-up word to, how do you say, symbolize the expression of a sound that was made. You know what I'm saying? And if anything, the word quote unquote of God would probably be yes, because in the beginning, when it started creating stuff, after it was aware of its awareness, check back to episode 3 for that, right? It had to say yes, and knowing that, yes, I wanted this, yes, I want that, yes, this is good, yes, you know what I'm saying? So I would think yes is the word of God, because yes affirms, you know what I'm saying, the thing that you are looking at, the thing that you're pleased with, the things that you want, right? So I do believe his name begins with yes, but I think it's more like Yesius, or, you know what I'm saying, Yesias, something like that. But whatever that would be in Arabic or Hebrew, you feel me? Because they was not calling him Jesus when Jesus is a Greek name. So we got to stop doing that, please. You know what I'm saying? I know it's tough. I know it's hard. We're used to it, but that's what programming does. It gets you used to it, and it makes you fight that cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? That starts coming in, that makes you say, "Oh no," you know, and then you start feeling too mentally lazy to, I don't want to change it. I don't want to look weird. I don't want to listen. That's why I'm here. Bring you that insight to elevate your life. And no matter the weather, we focus on being better. That's what it is on this channel. Feel me? So even though I rep hip-hop and I bring that dope original lyrical content, just know that I also am very intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes just like everybody else, but I'm aware of those mistakes. I can be caught up in my dark side of things, in my shadow, you know what I mean? And that demiurge I have is tough to deal with. All right? It wants its validation in the way that it wants its validation, the same way everybody else's ego wants its validation in the way everybody else has its own way of going about that. You know, that's why I said that's how God lives in all of us, because we all have an ego, and we all worship that ego, because we all do whatever we can to please that ego. You feel me? And that's basically everything we do when we self-indulge, or, you know, getting them, anything that gives us that dopamine rush. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to have that awareness to know that if you're getting dopamine rushes for being fake, for being manipulative, for being all over the place, jumping out your skin, bouncing off the walls, you know what I'm saying? Just being a nuisance, being a menace, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're male or female, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, just, I don't know what y'all be up to these days, because honestly, I'll be quite honest, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I put that part of the game down a long time ago for a lot of the reasons I stated in episode 5. But I realized that too was a mistake, because now I'm just out of touch of how females thinking, except for the fact that y'all are acting a lot like men. And I'm not feeling that, because I don't want to date no man. No sir. Not my cup of tea. Nothing wrong with it if that is you know what I'm saying? But that is not me. And I got friends on that side, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with people on that side. I got no problem with it. My whole problem with the way that they doing the programming, which ties right back into this vibe that I'm building with y'all on, is how they be force feeding these narratives into our face, trying to get us to accept and like certain things, so that way they can put it in the schools and they already started that, you know what I'm saying, biracial or whatever stuff in the schools with the bathrooms and stuff like that. Now you're gonna have guys and girls in the same bathroom, and then doing what? The ones that start to feel frisky, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have kids, so I don't know how that's going on right now. I just remember hearing about that, you know what I'm saying, and seeing it on the news and how they're trying to push that. And it's like, for the equality thing and all of that, creativity and being different is cool, but that's where ego became, you know what I'm saying, ego was born, because creativity thought it could do stuff without logic, and that right there is creativity without logic. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for that. Like, what are you really trying to do? These are the questions we gotta ask, y'all gotta ask when you hear and see these things, and then say no, because as long as you say no, they have to go back on it. They can't force it. If everybody collectively together, see, that's the thing. And that's why they don't like melanated chosen ones, because the revolution and all that, the rebellion and all that, you know what I'm saying? If we as a people agree to anything, you know what I'm saying, collectively, all at once, then we have the power to change that thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why in the book, and it's not to say when I talk about Dogma and God and Sky Daddy, you know what I'm saying, because people are afraid to, you know, and then they're scared about what happens after, so they accept Sky Daddy and they want him to be there, and they call it praying. Honestly, I don't even like that word praying, because when you pray on something, it's like, that's, you know what I'm saying, what other word do we use, that definition do we have with that, when you pray on something or pray for something? Like, I don't like that word. I don't know what the actual word is. I just call it asking. You know what I'm saying? All that law of attraction stuff ain't new, because the Bible talks about ask, receive, and believe. Ask, believe, receive, however it goes, right? And that's what that is. So, you know, but they just took all the other stuff out. That's why The Secret and all that stuff, when that came out, was so popular, because it went more in depth into that. That's the problem. They took all the details out and they made things vague. But that's why you got people like me to help you free your mind. Like I said in my song Through the Motions, I'm about to upload that pretty soon. Watch out for that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this video is starting to get a little long. I'm trying to remember everything I wanted to touch on, because since I'm just trying to get some exercise, walking around, enjoying this nature real quick, I didn't take any notes. So that's why I'm a little bit all over the place with y'all on this vibe. But you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all chilling with me. I appreciate y'all walking with me. You know what I mean? And the main thing is just to be better. You know what I'm saying? We all have to strive to be better, because if not, what are we doing? All right, we can't promote self-destruction. We can't promote that Jezebel nonsense. We can't promote none of that because the kids see that. And we just have to be grown and mature to understand that and accept that, and just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bash or shit on anybody, but again, we got to be mentally and spiritually strong enough to have these conversations in order to grow. Because if we keep walking on broken glass and eggshells every time something like this comes up, we're going to stay in infant mode. You feel me? Where every time something comes up, I don't want to talk about that. It makes me awkward. I feel funny. But what? And you're just going to give your power away to that for the rest of your life, and you're never going to, like, you know what I'm saying, try to grow out of that or grow off of that? I don't know. That doesn't really work for me. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that. You know what I'm saying? While y'all roll something up, pour yourself a drink, and re-listen to this as you vibe with me again. You know what I mean? We're gonna have better vibes. So once again, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me, taking this walk with me. You know what I'm saying? It's wonderful out here today. So I definitely wanted to come outside and enjoy this weather, get this melanin, you know what I'm saying? And build with y'all. So we're definitely gonna do some of this more often. My bad for the camera work again, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get used to this whole thing, right? And videos will get better. So appreciate y'all for vibing with me. Phone's on E. So let me end this. I'm up against it. Come back for episode 7 for some more insight to elevate your life. Because no matter the weather, we focus on being better. Peace and power. Wings up.